Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ben here, and today I'm going to be discussing the Los Angeles Lakers, not the team turmoil that's going on right now and is consuming everyone's thoughts about the team. I am actually going to be talking about what their plan should be for this coming off season and how they should improve their team and go forward and try to become better and more cohesive and just more competitive overall. So first I want to address the whole adding a superstar element that I think actually should really not be where the team tries to go. So obviously basically every big free agent name that's come up has been linked with the Lakers. Uh, Kemba Walker, Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant. All these names have been linked with the Lakers. DeMarcus Cousins you could throw in there. All of these guys have been linked somehow to like, oh, will they come to the Lakers? Will they come to the Lakers? It's been a thing that people are talking about a lot, and I personally don't think that the Lakers should try and go after any of these players, actually. If I were them, I would do something a little bit different. I'll tell you guys about that right now after I go through their payroll for next season. So if I were to so on the books for next season, they have $66 million. That leaves them with roughly $60 million to play with because the hard cap I think is gonna be around like 125. So roughly around $60 million to play with. And so guys who they have with expiring contracts, I'll read them off quick. You have KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Rajon Rondo, Mike Muscala, Lance Stevenson, Reggie Bullock, Tyson Chandler, JaVale McGee. All those guys are scheduled to be free agents. And personally, what would I do? I would let them all go. I would let all those guys go. Now, I know that there might be some speculation and trepidation with me saying this, that a lot of those guys are pretty key to what their team's been this year, like Rondo and uh, JaVale have been really good pieces to this team, but just wait and see what I say and who I think that they should bring in. So with this $60 million, I think the first person that they should target, giving them around between 20 to 25 million of that cap space of the 60, would be Nikola Vucevic of the Orlando Magic currently. He was an all-star this year for the first time. He's having a great season, very efficient, and let me read off his stats right now. So he is scoring 21 points a night, along with 12 rebounds a game, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block a night. He's also shooting 52% from the field, 39% from three. Remember, that's as a center. He's taking three-point shots a night. Then let's see here, from field goal or from the free throw line, he's shooting 77%, so pretty average. So basically 21 and 12 and 4 assists on 52% from the field and 39% from three, which are really good efficiency numbers for a center, especially from three-point land. So why do I think that they should bring in Nikola Vucevic? Because he would essentially, in my opinion, be exactly what the Lakers need compared to like a JaVale McGee at center. Because I think Vucevic can rebound like McGee can. He's not as good of a defender, of course not, but he brings something on offense that McGee doesn't, which is spacing. And I think that this Lakers team really lacks spacing. It's why they traded for Mike Muscala, who I think obviously Nikola Vucevic would be a huge upgrade over Mike Muscala. Um, and Vucevic just does everything better on offense than McGee or Muscala or Tyson Chandler does. And although he's a drawback on defense, I think he brings so much to you on offense that he makes up for it. And that actually leads into the second player that I have the Lakers acquiring here, which would be Al Horford, who currently plays for the Boston Celtics, who is going to be a free agent this offseason. So I think that the next player that the Lakers should sign would be Al Horford. For I would hope he would be willing to sign for about 20 million, considering that he's going to be 33 next year, and I think he would realize his age and what he's really worth. So 20 million I think would be fair for him. So that leaves the Lakers with $15 million, which I'll continue to talk about after this. Um, so this season, I'll read off Horford's stats. He's averaging 13 points a night, 7 rebounds a game, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block a night, shooting 53% from the field and 36% from three. So those are some pretty solid numbers again as far as efficiency. And you would probably, I would say, you'd slot in Vucevic as your starting center, and then Al Horford as your starting power forward. Uh, and Al Horford is like the glue guy. He'd sort of be like the Chris Bosh of this team, like what Chris Bosh was for LeBron in Miami. You'd have Al Horford filling a similar role in um, Los Angeles, in that you look at Chris Bosh's stat line in some big playoff games, he would have like less than 10 points, but you would have totally noticed his presence during the game, and he would have such a big influence over the game, but it didn't necessarily have to be through points. That's the exact type of player that Al Horford is. He's a very good defender, and he'd make up for defensive efficiencies on the interior and in the low post that Vucevic might be giving up. So I think he'd be really good from a defensive standpoint. And just on offense, he'd be a really nice glue guy who, if you need a 3-pointer, he can take it. If you need a big man to be able to run offense from the top of the key, he can do that. If you want him to post up, and you can just throw the ball to him on the block, and he can do some post up moves. He can do a little bit of everything on offense, a really solid defender on defense, and I think he'd be a great addition for this team in that he wouldn't demand the ball. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective whatsoever. He's just a really good glue guy who is actually like all-star caliber. He's been a 5-time all-star. Um, so yeah, I would really like Al Horford on this team to start at power forward for them. The last guy that I would say that they should definitely target would be uh, I think he's actually an unrestricted free agent, but Malcolm Brogdon of the Milwaukee Bucks, who's currently making I think only like $1.5 million per year, which is super low, and he's having a really good year this year. He's averaging 16 points per game, 5 rebounds a game, 3 assists, 1 steal. He is shooting 51% from the field, 44% from three, and then he is shooting 93% from the free throw line. So obviously those are some really good numbers, especially the efficiency. If you can get a guy scoring 16 points a night, 51% from the field and 44% from three, especially if he's like a combo guard, like shooting guard or point guard, those are some great numbers. And I think he would be willing to accept anywhere between $10 to $15 million for his contract. So yeah, I would say he should definitely be the third guy. Can do a little bit of everything on offense. Again, a good defender, like decent, not bad at all. He'd be a slight upgrade on the defensive wings for them over somebody like Kentavious Caldwell Pope. I'd say he's a pretty similar to him, but slightly better, I'd say. So then, if you got those three, your core is looking like this: probably a starting lineup of Lonzo at the 1, probably Josh Hart at the 2, LeBron at the 3, then you've got Horford at the 4, and then you've got Vucevic at the 5, and then your bench is composed of Malcolm Brogdon, Brandon Ingram, and Kyle Kuzma. And I like that bench a lot. And then you have Mo Wagner as your backup center. But I like that team a lot. You don't have any second superstar with LeBron, but you've got Vucevic, who's an all-star. You've got Horford, who's an all-star. You've got Malcolm Brogdon, who's a rookie of the year. You've got some really nice scoring options off the bench in Ingram and Kuzma, and then Malcolm Brogdon, who you could sub in either. He's a combo guard, so you could have him sub in for um, Lonzo Ball or Josh Hart. And this team is it's got what I think LeBron needs, which is a lot of shooting. In that starting lineup, besides Lonzo, everybody can shoot. And if you want a full shooting lineup, you can sub in Malcolm Brogdon for Lonzo. And then the shooters you have it surrounding LeBron are Josh Hart, who's like 36% from three, Malcolm Brogdon, who's 44% from three, Vucevic, who's 39% from three, and then Horford as like the worst of the bunch, shooting 36% from three. So basically, I think the plan for them would be to do sort of an emulation of what the Milwaukee Bucks are doing this season, or what the Orlando Magic did in 2000, basically 8 to 2012, which was like a 1 in 4 out system where you have one guy either driving on every possession or posting up on every possession, which for Orlando was Dwight, for Milwaukee's been Giannis, and for the Lakers would be LeBron, probably taking guys off the dribble and driving in. And it's really a good system in that you create this thing where either teams let LeBron or Giannis or whoever go one-on-one and likely score on the drive, or you double or you send help defense down to help them on the drive, and then you leave open a sniper 3-point shooter. So this year for the Bucks, it's been typically most of the time uh, Bledsoe, Brogdon, Middleton, and Lopez, who are on the wings waiting for that pass. But for these Lakers, it would be with this death lineup with Brogdon in there, and for Lonzo, it would be uh, Brogdon, Hart, and then you'd have Horford and Vucevic. And also, I don't think Brandon Ingram and Kuzma would miss out much on the bench. I think that's really where these guys are supposed to be striving. I think because they play for the Lakers, we sort of assumed like, oh, they're going to be stars. And because when Brandon Ingram came out, people were giving him a Kevin Durant comparison. People assume he's going to be a superstar. But I think that like Kuzma is a guy who has, I don't want to say this in a negative light, but I think he's more of like a good stats bad team sort of guy, where like last year he averaged 16 points per game, but like besides Julius Randle, they really didn't have any other scoring options, so Kuzma sort of filled the void. And then this year, for a lot of the year, Brandon Ingram has been pretty bad on offense for what people expected. So Kuzma again sort of had to fill a void and be like the second option to LeBron. But I think Kuzma is really best in like a 26 minutes per night, scoring 14 points a game kind of role where he can be more efficient. Same for Ingram. I think he should be playing probably around 28 to 30 minutes a night and scoring 16 points per game. As a starter or like a sixth man, I think would be a really good role for him. Especially for this Lakers team, you get some really good scoring depth where you could take LeBron out and you could take Horford out and you could still have a lineup of like um, Lonzo, Brogdon, Ingram, Kuzma, and Vucevic, and you wouldn't be like sunk. You'd still have some solid players on the team. And I think the thing about this team would be like, yes, they'd be built around LeBron like any other team has ever been that he's played on, but at the same time, I see them being able to function without him in the lineup, in that Ingram could sort of take over that role. Or let's say that you want to have LeBron play point guard because that's basically what he normally always plays. You could have LeBron at the one in quotation marks, the point guard spot, and then you could have a lineup of like Vucevic at the five, Horford at the four, Kuzma at the three, and then either Brogdon or Hart at the two, and you'd still have some really good spacing around him. So there's just a lot more possibilities with this than I think if you were to do something like let's drop 35 million per year on Klay Thompson. Yes, you would get Klay Thompson, but um, your dollars won't go as far, and then you can maybe sign one other guy. But I think that this plan that I put forward is better in that you get depth and but at the same time, really quality players that fit LeBron's play style really well. And so I think that's why if I were the Lakers, would target Vucevic, Horford, and Brogdon in the offseason. You guys can totally feel free to agree or disagree with me. I understand it's open to interpretation and everyone might feel differently about the subject and think, what are you talking about? They should go after Kawhi and Klay Thompson. That's what they should be doing. Well, uh, you know, you're entitled to that opinion, but this is just what I thought. So again, let me know, guys. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.